be doing our March wrap-up to get that out of the way. And then when this month ends, because we're in April now, we'll get April wrapped up. And then we'll just do, like, we'll go through my Storygraph stats to see how we're doing on that so far, and then we can compare them to the end of the years. Because I want to be able to get like halfway, midpoint recorded, and then the end with the stats. So without further ado, let's get into March. March, I wasn't able to read much because I had a lot of stuff going on. And I've been busy with school and my job, basically. So starting from March, I read Scythe by Neil Shusterman, which is basically a dystopian novel about, oh, well, we are set in the future, and this is basically a world where scythes are set to keep the population down, so they glean people to keep the population where it needs to be. So this is like a perfect world, and then all of a sudden, Scythe Faraday picks these two kids, Rowan and Citra, to go train under him to become scythes. However, during their training, Scythe Faraday passes away, and they have to basically compete against each other to become the scythe, and whoever becomes the scythe has to kill the other, which was not what Scythe Faraday wanted, so that was crazy. I read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. I still rated that 5 stars, but if you want the full review, I posted a video on it, so you can go watch that. I read Mia Madison's Babysitter Wanted, which is like a short novella. I gave it 2 stars. I don't even remember what it was about, so there's that. Ella Good's Secret Baby, which was another novella. I gave that one 3 stars. It was slightly better than Babysitter Wanted by Mia Madison. Wasn't that into it, but whatever. So I read Ella Good's Bring Him Home and Ella Good's Finding Home, which is like a 2-piece novella. There's 2 different books. I gave Bring Him Home 3 stars, and then I gave Finding Home 2.8. Honestly, probably could not tell you what it was about again. Because they were short. I don't usually keep the short books engraved in my head, so. Neil Shusterman's Thunderhead, I am not finished reading that. I am still continuing, but so far it's basically about Rowan went about on his way to basically kill scythes that are being disingenuous with their scythism. And Scythe Faraday, this is a huge spoiler, so Scythe Faraday is basically like trying to find out something about the land of Nod. That's all I know so far, since that's what I'm reading. And then Citra's on a mission to like try to not get herself killed, because there's some people after her and Scythe Marie. I reread Daisy Jones and the Six, still 5 stars if you want that review. What was I saying? I don't know, lost my train of thought. But yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six is pretty amazing, but if you want to go watch my review of that, you can go down to the first video I ever fucking recorded on this channel, and you can go click on that, and you can find it. It's somewhere, I promise. Chili Cole's Sick Fucks. Now, going into this, it was supposed to be like a dark romance, which apparently it was dark to everybody else. But for me and a couple of people, we were like, this is not that dark, and, you know. So basically, going into full description, I'm just gonna call them by their made-up names because I do not remember their real names, or the fake names. Basically, Dolly and Rabbit, they live in like I don't want to call it an orphanage, but I think it was an orphanage, but I don't think it was an orphanage. It had the feel of an orphanage. So they stayed in this orphanage feel-like place, and Dolly eventually meets this kid named Rabbit. You know, he is not a people person. He stays to himself. He injures and kills living things like butterflies. And then eventually they meet, and Dolly's like, hey, what are you doing? And then he's just like, oh, I'm watching this butterfly die. And she's like, oh, okay. And everyone's like, that's not. And eventually Dolly and Rabbit become friends, and Dolly tells Rabbit all about Alice in Wonderland, her mom, and he is just awestruck with her. And he is not awestruck with anybody. He does not like anybody. He doesn't talk to anybody. So this is the first time for him. But eventually, Rabbit comes to stay with Dolly because his dad passes away. And his dad has a debt with Dolly's father. So eventually they're living in the same house, and Dolly's uncles live there, which Dolly's father, she calls him her uncle, and then he has like a bunch of friends working with him that is uncles that she calls, and it's really weird. But then all of a sudden, like, it gets very dark, so I would not suggest reading this. You should look up trigger warnings if you are not into this, because it's about to get really dark from what I'm about to say. Eventually, Dolly and Rabbit are, like, taken, and they are basically, I'm just going to put the trigger warnings here, they're raped by these uncles. And then eventually Rabbit gets fed up because he sees what they're doing to Dolly as well as what they're doing to him. He would rather it be done to him than it done to her. So basically Rabbit is caught off guard one night. He is drunk because they drug him in order to get, like, they drug them in order to get shit done with them. And Rabbit is on his last nerve. He ends up killing one of the guys, and he is sent off, and Dolly is just stayed there. She is basically in her own mind. She doesn't, after years, she doesn't speak. She is pale. You cannot see anything, right? And eventually Rabbit comes back for her. 20 years later, he gets out of this prison that he was sent to when he killed this man, and he goes on and he gets Dolly. He makes her happy again because she's kind of in this mental state, so he makes her think that she's basically Alice in Wonderland, and that her original self, the not Dolly self, is kind of like this another person that is not true. So basically, it's kind of like a mental illness with her to make her think, oh, she's Alice in Wonderland, blah, 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 blah. Rabbit is the rabbit, so. And eventually, they go around killing all the uncles, so, like, I mean, boss behavior, but yeah, I probably would not suggest this if you are, like, get very, like, sick easily, and, like, it's just, it gets dark. It wasn't dark enough for me, per se, probably because I'm sensitized, not desensitized to that stuff. I've read way too much of it, but yeah, I liked it, but it wasn't dark for me, so I gave it 3.8, so almost 4. I read The Simple Wild by Kay and Tucker because all I did was hear good things about it. And basically, Kala is this girl. She lives in Toronto, Canada. and she has to go home to Alaska because her father is sick. So she ends up going there, and she meets Jonah, who is this bush pilot in the airline that her dad works for, or owns, basically. So they end up meeting. Jonah thinks she's a stuck-up brat because she's from Toronto, and they basically just hate each other. They basically just hate each other for like the first third of the book, and then they slowly but surely grow to each other, and they fall in love, and she has to come to the debate, oh, well, what, after my dad passes away, I'm going home. So there's that. I'm currently reading Wild at Heart, which is the second book in the series, and I will let you know where I am with that. We're moving on because I only have like 4 novellas that I've read after that. No, I can't even say that because that's in April. Okay, well, that's the end. That's the end of this March wrap-up. Maybe I'll do a vlog after this video is posted because I've got to get ready for work soon and I've got to get tons of stuff done. So we'll see. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Put your favorite books down in the comment section. I am trying to find more books. It doesn't matter what genre. I'm trying to branch out. I mostly prefer romance right now. I am more into that. But whatever you want to put down, because I'm still trying to find some new stuff. Soon there will be a video coming out where I read my friends' recommendations, which would only be like 4 books or whatnot. But we will see where those videos go. I don't know when they will be posted because I don't know when I'm going to have a lot of free time. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this March wrap up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.